Nadia was on the radio. She was late, obviously. But
I always went to studio with my verses already done.
They understand how to grow their brands. And how those things actually come alive. So first of all, I just want to allow you guys to introduce yourself. And I know you know who they are, but it's always nice to have a personal introduction. So if you'd like to introduce yourself to the beautiful audience.
Hello guys, how are you? My name is Nadia Nakai. I'm a musician, a business owner, and a reality TV star.
oh,
Yeah.
What's up, guys? My name is Tshego, musician, producer, business owner, and I guess reality TV.
They became musicians like before they were the reality.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Not reality like musicians, you know.
Yeah. Way before.
So the world is moving very fast and changing rapidly, okay, at the moment. And I think I just want to start right in at the deep end, because we were talking about this in the last session, okay, and get your opinions and input on where you think things are at with artificial intelligence and the music industry. We've unpacked some of the tools that are available and how things are changing, and we've also talked about the fact that it's not the AI that will take your job, it's someone will take your job if they don't understand the AI and they're not working with it and complementing what you're doing. What's your opinion on where it's at, and have you played with tools yet, or where do you think it's going?
Well, I think you'd have to be a little bit more specific on what type of AI you're referring to. Because like the AIs that are making songs that sound like Drake, I think are problematic.
Yeah.
Because you're literally taking someone's IP. Our voices is literally our selling point. It's our product. So when people can make AIs make people say certain things or do certain things, I think is extremely problematic. But when it's AI in a way of amplifying what you're already creating as a musician, I think it has its benefits. I think it depends where the AI comes in. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I fully agree, because I mean we have things like ChatGPT. That has made my job easier, you know, writing proposals. You know,
sure.
I don't think that's problematic. I think, like you said, it amplifies what you feed into it, right? It's not necessarily taking anyone's IP. It's you're feeding it your thoughts, and it's spitting something out. But in terms of what you said, like taking my voice now and making me say certain things, or take like the deep fake with the taking my face and putting it on someone else's face and making me do certain things, like you know, so that's crazy. So I do agree, it depends, you know, what we're talking about, but I think the fact is AI is not going anywhere, right? It's only going to progress, and I think the laws are only going to get stricter around it, you know, and we can only hope, right? But we just have to figure a way where we can live with it, because you know, just like technology, it's not going anywhere, it's only going to progress. You just have to decide which side of the coin you want to be on when it, you know, when it hits that mark.
So what about, we've talked about using AI as a creative or tool to help us move things forward, but what about using it creatively to write? I mean, if you think about it, if you ask ChatGPT to help you with some lyrics, it's almost like a collab, you know, so it could be like you featuring ChatGPT, which no one's going to do, but how does that make, what do you feel about using it to write your songs, to write your lyrics, you know?
I think it's problematic. I do think it's problematic. I also feel like, yes, I understand it. You putting your thoughts into a platform and it refines it for you. But I feel like if you haven't learned that skill on your own, you're cheating a little bit. I think you're cheating a little bit. And is it okay to cheat a little bit? Is that the case then? We are allowed to use certain things to amplify ourselves that we actually can't do, because at the end of the day, AI is creating something that you send to the third person, fourth person, but when you get into a room, there's no AI coming out my mouth. It's about what's in my brain, what can I actually do, how do I hold conversations, how do I convince people to buy my product, how do I convince people to invest in my product, how do I tell people that this is something that is important or lucrative for them to get involved in, because I can't just sit there and read a ChatGPT printout, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I feel like ChatGPT is making people not find the importance of upskilling themselves anymore, because it's a shortcut. You have to upskill yourself on how to public speak, how to networking, like they used to have like networking parties where you go and know how to work a room, and some people have anxiety, some people don't know how to speak, and they go to lessons to be able to fight their anxiety. So that's upskilling yourself as a person. Whereas with ChatGPT, I think it's taking a shortcut.
I mean, I like to play devil's advocate, right, with everything, right? So with this, I agree, But at the same time, I'm just one of those guys where it's like, listen, if you don't have it in you, you can feed that thing everything you want to, right? And I'll make an example, and I'll use Kelani as an example because I love her voice, right? And I think she's an amazing artist. And I don't think anyone would ever believe if you said, yo, you hear that song that Kelani just sang right now? Yeah, that's ChatGPT. Anyone would believe that, right? I don't think she's ever done it. But I'm giving you an example, right? If someone was to enter a prompt into ChatGPT and it gave them a Kelani level song, and then they proceeded to sing it at a Kelani level as a musician, they need to be a star. That's all I'm saying. Like, ChatGPT is not gonna sing it for you or perform it for you at the end of the day. People love the performance. So if someone can wake up, feed ChatGPT some prompts, and it's gonna give you an amazing song, and you can sing it amazingly with your melodies, and it's a hit, then there's something about you. Then you deserve to be,
Well, in many ways, it's happening already if you're working with a songwriter.
So songwriter as well, right?
The songwriter loses their job.
So
the authenticity we talked about earlier, the importance of being authentic as an artist, and how that different experience live, first of all, is authentic. You can't replicate a live show, really. It's a once-off, and that interaction, that personal experience. That's also how we can compete with AI artists, which there will be, as we all know. How important are those in terms of the career path that you're on as an artist, making sure you've got your live stuff and taking it out on the road?
I think Nadia can definitely tell you about that. I mean, she's monetized her whole brand is around her content.
Yeah. So I don't know if I completely understand the question when you say authenticity. So when I'm saying authenticity as an artist is important when it comes to what you write about, what you're selling. Like even with my brand partnerships, I always make sure that my brand partnerships are there's synergy there. It has to be authentic to who I am. Like right now, I'm the brand ambassador for ballet. Ballet is associated to hip hop and Rick Ross because I don't have to pretend. I'm already authentically in that genre, so therefore it's easy for me to not necessarily sell it to you, but convince the person that is looking at me drinking ballet to be like, okay, she really does, and I do. I like champagne, but I really do. But it's authentic to me, so therefore I feel like followers are not stupid. Like my fans and my supporters are not stupid. They can see when I'm doing something that's not authentic to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So therefore, I have to make sure that whoever I collaborate with, it has to be authentic. When it comes to the shows, I think, it's everything is curated to a certain extent. Like you could get on stage and perform, but I think sometimes you'll perform and it's not really authentic to you, but they'll curate something. Like like with Tyler. Tyler has this tiger thing, and the way she dances and the way she does Bukari, that's all curated by multiple people that made Tyler who she is and what her live shows look like. That might not necessarily be authentic to her, you know what I mean? Sure. So it depends on where you're talking about authenticity, and I don't think that's a problem, because at the end of the day, that there's a certain type of show that you need to do that's authentic to you. Like with Bay Chilla, she did the whole the school thing with the trumpets, and I don't know what they would call it.
The marching band.
The marching band and whatever. Don't know if that's authentic to her. I don't know if that's the life that she lived, but she knows the viewers will resonate with that because it's something that a lot of people in varsity do, and they'll be authentic and they'll resonate with what she's doing, but it might not necessarily be authentic to Beyonce, you know. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, I think that's pretty dope. Yeah. I think she said it all. Unless you want to take it in a different angle and ask another.
No, I guess it's also about, we talked earlier about the celebration of being African, and cultural colonization, and how we've had obviously especially American culture sort of pushed down on the world, which has its pros and cons, and how we've as a nation have struggled, but have started to find our own identity. And being authentic is who we are, not trying to be copycats of other people. In everything we do as artists, we have to be authentic, otherwise you get a beat and sing over it, or do you have a melody in your head. I know there's lots of different entry points to writing songs, but do you have a common theme?
So at the beginning of my career, I used to get a beat and I used to write to that beat. I'm like, okay, this is the beat I'm focusing on and this is what I'm doing. As I grew, I started exploring things. I started being more collaborative and understanding that it's okay to have other writers in the room, have sessionists, that kind of expands your musical palette, to be honest, because sitting in my room and writing to that one beat, I realized was very restrictive. It didn't allow me to be as creative as I am now, and that's because I've opened up to collaborating with people. So a lot of the times, I'm there during the beat process making as well. To like, I like this, or these are the kind of inspiration, or these are the type of songs right now I'm listening to that I really enjoy. And then I'll say, okay, cool, I really want a saxophonist to do this part. And then that's when I start reflecting on like my childhood and the kind of music I listened to. And I used to listen to Hugh Masekela and Seal and Jamiroquai and Jill Scott, and I'm just like, okay, cool, these are the type of things that I want to put into the song now because I'm more collaborative on the actual beat that I'm actually, I can't even call it a beat, it's like, it's music, you know? It's more than just having someone send you an MP3 and write to it. I'm changing it, I'm saying I want the bridge to be like this and take out these drums and take out this snare and put this, that. It's more collaborative as I've grown, you know, which is dope. Also before, I always went to studio with my verses already done. Then I started learning mumble.
For real.
You know, already done. Like, I'm gonna rap it like this, and this is it. And now I'm starting to play around with flows because you can actually say absolutely nothing. As long as your flow's dope, people are gonna catch on to it. Like, and Nigerians do this very well with the Afro pop. Sometimes you think they're saying something in their language, when Kanti they're not. They just went to the mic and they just say because they just want to get the flow and the bop, and that's what I started learning. Okay, cool. Before I write, I'll just mumble on the verse and just do 3-4 takes of that. And then my engineer, out of those 3-4 takes, will take the best kind of flows with no words and then make something. Then I'll write to my mumble raps. I'll write to the flow. Because as long as I've got the flow, then I realize, oh my gosh, it's not actually about the raps that much. Once you have a flow, you're pretty much done because people want to vibe. They don't necessarily, and now they don't even want to listen even more. They don't want to, don't over rap, don't do too much, especially with the piano industry. It's literally about the bop, the flow. Where can they dance? Where they can they find a moment? And I realize now that I don't have to over rap anymore. As long as I got that nice flow, I'm good.
Yeah, flow is everything, huh? It is, you know. But you know, when you're flowing properly and in flow state, then you are your own instrument, and that's what.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I've always been like that. You know, I've always been a mad scientist. I was actually. It's funny that you say that. The other day I sampled my dog. Like, listen, this is my.
You sampled your dog.
Right. All right. This was like 2 nights ago. My dog was just breathing extra hard, and I was like, damn, that's on time.
That's on time.
Alright, so that's a full song right now. It exists. It's a full song. It's probably gonna be on my album. So I've always been like that. I've always been like melody. I don't care what I'm saying.
What you're saying is you're a nerd.
Yeah, I've been a nerd with this shit for a long time, right?
You have to be
a long time, right? So I've sampled everything. I'm just using my voice as an instrument. I'm doing weird things. I'm worrying about the lyrics last. Like that is, I've never been a writer. I don't write my lyrics. I would rather go line by line, word for word. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So whatever that is happening in that moment, you know, it's like lightning in a bottle. You capture it, and then it's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what the flow is about. You know?
Yeah.
You can't over sanitize it. I mean, I know you get songwriting camps and people who sit and it's got to go from this chord to this chord, and but ultimately, like it is one of the most liberating free forms of expression because you can literally say what the fuck you want. You know, and really, from a visual perspective, like the music videos, like the wild stuff that's come out. What would you say to people who are thinking or trying to get into the space? What is some of the key? Give me maybe 2 key elements of the challenge and the things that you have found the toughest in your careers.
If you're not gonna persevere, just don't even try. Like really, we've been doing this for a long.
Yeah. Well, I was saying earlier, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. You know,
for a long time, over 10 years now, going on 20 type shit. You know what I mean? And it's not easy. So like, if music didn't mean the world to me, I wouldn't be doing this. I really wouldn't.
So what did I say earlier? You have to be passionate.
I would
deeply
not.
passionate.
I would not. There's many other things I'd rather be doing. I would rather be a photographer, edit videos, be a director, do some cool shit. You know what I mean? Like rather than be a struggling artist for like Lord knows how long, and you're just hanging in there. So if you don't have that perseverance and you're not like without music I would literally die. Don't do it. That's one. And then 2, to make sure you actually have some talent, honestly.
You need to self-reflect.
Self-reflect, even if that's just the talent of the mind, your your cadence might not be there, your flow might not be there, but you know if you're like tuned on to music, or if you know, just be a little honest. And also those around you, keep those around you who would be honest,
I interviewed Ed Sheeran once at the Bridges Academy in Langa, and he talked about not having a plan B. It's like you should not have a plan B.
I didn't have a plan B.
Well, I did say to him,
I dropped out of school like 4 times.
Yeah.
Literally, that's my story. Like 1 year, 2 years, and then the last time it was sound engineering, and I thought this was it. Like I'm gonna go get my degree in sound engineering, did architecture, did all this shit. And I was like, nah, let me go into the music. Did sound engineering, failed the first year. I said I'm going back. Failed the second year, and I was like, nah, this doesn't make sense, because I was running a studio full time in Melville anyway. Yeah. So I wasn't pitching up to my exams. I wasn't doing the work,
but you were doing
because I was working in the industry already.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, fuck this. Let me just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's talk about we touched on it earlier, and then I meant to go that way and I forgot. Collaboration. I think that's one of the key elements to success. It's something you highlighted earlier as well. I see you guys collaborating a lot. Do you think we need more collaboration in the industry? Because it seems to be quite sporadic. It doesn't seem to be the same energy that we've had in the past. There's been a lot of change. Where do you think, how important is collaboration to get us to a new sort of energized space? If that's your understanding of where it's going, because that's how I feel.
I think it's very important, because as humans we'll always have different perspectives. Like we'll hear sounds differently. Like I would have just heard a dog panting, to be honest. But he would have heard something that would have been so like instrumental in the creative process of it. And I always compare it to, I come from the hip hop stable, so hip hop has always been a little bit cliquey. And I feel like where piano succeeds is they collaborate with each other a lot. You'll have a song and there's 19 people on the song. You know what I mean? Yeah. They collaborate with each other, they work with each other, and you don't necessarily also with hip hop, they collaborate with people that have currency. And that's the problem, because sometimes we'll collaborate with an artist because they have a big name, and it doesn't actually get you anywhere. But with piano, they collaborate with a lot of people and you won't even know who they are. Yeah. But they come in with where their currency is with their talent and actual skills.
But that's also a problem now in piano. That's also become a problem, because in piano, the songs are becoming way bigger than the artists. And
that's their problem.
It's their problem, but that's what's happening, right? When you give it to the people that don't have currency, it becomes bigger than them, then it's like, oh, one hit wonder. You don't know, unless you sing that song, we don't know who you are. But you are right. I think collaboration is 100% key. It's necessary. I think it's amazing. I think it's the key to everything. I think it's the reason why piano took off the way it took off, because everyone was literally just holding hands, and basically, and just like moving with it, So exactly. So I think imperative.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about some of the collaboration. You guys are doing quite a lot of stuff online. Just to highlight some of that stuff, which is getting some good traction. What are some of the stuff you guys are doing?
Collaborations in sense of brands or music?
Yeah, the stuff you're doing, like the podcast you do together.
Oh yeah.
That's fresh to see that.
So, I really feel like creating content is very powerful. For me, I've survived this industry because I know how to market myself. I graduated, I did marketing and media studies, so I constantly look at my career in that way. That sometimes the whole year I'll drop one song, but I'm still in the conversation. I'm still getting the brand deals. I'm still a topic because I know how to create content. So like the podcast is important because that's where everybody's going. YouTube is a very big place where you can, like honestly, what's changed now from when I started making music is the power's come back into the creator and has come back into the consumer. Before, when I started, the power was in the middle person that was put there by I don't know who. But like the middle person being the radio stations or the TV stations or the record labels. Now it's gotten to a point where that middle part has become redundant, and now the creator is communicating directly to the artist, and that's what's making it more successful, and that's what it should have been from the beginning, because now less people are getting taken advantage of. They will, but you're not getting
you have the option, you have more options. By
the record labels, because 100%. The record labels dangled this thing of you're only going to get on radio if you're assigned to a Universal or Major or whatever. But now it's not even like that anymore. You don't even have to be on radio these days because social media and the internet is so powerful. People in America, why piano is doing so well is that people in America are finding these artists on social media. They're not finding them on the radio, on YFM, on William Mandela Drive.
They're finding them on TikTok,
100% on TikTok. And that's because of creating content. So it's very important for me. Like Kutwano, can you see?
Tron is here on the floor creating content because he knows that I need it. You know what I mean? I need it because now I'll post this conversation. Someone else is going to say, Nadia, I want you to do a talk and they're going to pay me because y'all didn't. I'm just kidding. You know, because
we're trying to save the world.
I'm kidding, but I mean, like that. It's like, for me, this was important to be here, not only because of Tshego, but also the fact that I want to upskill myself. I want to show a different side of myself, that I can have conversations like this and be in certain rooms in the future where you don't have to think, oh, she just had to be performing. I can actually, hopefully, impact people with the knowledge that I do have, which is important. So therefore, I have my photography here to make sure that he can record it so I can post it on social media. That's a way of marketing myself, and that's the way that content is today. It's about how you're going to market yourself, how you're going to create some sort of like currency with your name, and sell that with brands in order to partner with them. You know?
Yeah, she said everything.
Sorry.
No, that's it.
So I want to take this like a slightly. We'll take some questions in a minute. I think we're coming towards the end, but I just want to take this in a slightly different direction. Okay. So obviously, we run an education company, as you know, and one of the things we're doing within the education space is not just teaching practical skills, we're teaching mindfulness, critical thinking, permaculture, nutrition, how to move into this new age world that is rapidly changing. We've seen that come out of the States quite strongly with Kennedy going up against the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, which, by the way, is the biggest sham of our lifetime. The fact that you've got one organization, who's the most unhealthy country in the world? America, okay? The food part of the Food and Drug Administration. What happens when you're unhealthy? From the food. You take the drugs. But it's all been managed by the same body. It's like it's completely retarded, and those international sort of, that whole sort of style has come here as well. And so I'm interested to know what you think we need to do to educate our young people in this country, because for me, education is completely broken at the moment. It's still the same as it was the Industrial Revolution days, where you're teaching the same people the same shit. And the world is changing very rapidly. So what would you say that we could do better in education to really start driving this country forward? Because that's what we need to do, to drive and build this country.
I think you always need to start with access. I think the reason why I know so much, and from a young age, the last time I was here doing this talk, I said the same thing. I said that I was an internet child. I was stealing my mom's phone at nights before bed, Googling everything I could Google. Contracts for no reason. Like, what's Jay-Z up to? Like,
so you went on those sites that show girls with big titties?
No. No, I was really nerdy about this shit, right?
Sounds like you're a candidate for Neuralink. Some people will get that.
So I was really nerdy about this shit, right? I wanted this information because I don't care how much information is out there. If someone doesn't want to ingest it and do something with it, there's nothing that's going to happen, right? So first and foremost, I'm telling you, kids will show you when they're interested in something. And when that interest is there, there just needs to be the access. Just the access. So we need more funding, we just need more access. People need to know that this shit is available to me. The other day, just for fun, I was just, Googling funding opportunities in South Africa just for, music, related to entertainment, music, touring, exporting. And they do exist. Like, there's a lot. And I was like, what? I was really amazed, right?
Yeah.
But no one knows about this shit. I didn't know about this shit until I sat there and I really had to go to like the 4th page of Google. It's not on the front, you know what I mean? So like, this shit is there, but the access, like, who's talking about it, Because I'm telling you, these kids are interested. And if they knew that these funding opportunities are there, I guarantee you, they're just like people showed up, people would definitely, vie for those funding.
It's also the mindset of the way we teach. So my 2 kids have gone through the Montessori system. And in the same class, you get 3 different age groups in the same class. So when the older kids are teaching the younger kids, they're learning, because when you teach, you learn. It's a very simple system, but a very beautiful system. And I think that, the problem is that we're just teaching people to be clones, and that was fine for the Industrial Revolution. We needed lots of clones on the worker lines. Now we need people to think, to survive in a rapidly changing world.
You need people to talk. Because it's like, my child is also going through the same system. It's like, and the thing is, I don't do anything if my daughter doesn't tell me she wants it to be done, or, I'll ask her. It's a conversation. I'll tell her, like, what do you want? Like, what's up? And obviously there's a boundary to it because she is a child, right? But it's that thing. It's like, what are you interested in? Okay, Dad, I want to do karate. Okay, let's go. I want to swim. Let's go swim, right? You want to do gymnastics? Let's go do gymnastics. So you also have to listen. But she needs the access. The access has to be there so she can figure out, actually this thing is not for me, or damn, I love this thing and I want to dedicate my life to this thing, go in.
Any thoughts from your side?
I think he said everything.
Yeah.
It's definitely access, but I also feel like it's difficult to do that because a lot of musicians started very young, and there weren't people around them that knew better, or like it is an access thing. But I feel like then all of a sudden they'll get a hit song, bah, and everybody's giving them attention, and then they get excited, and there's a whirlwind of the fame, and then you get caught up in the sauce, and then you so it's difficult to say yes, access, but it's also difficult to tell that kid, slow down, make sure you know who owns your masters, please talk about the split sheets, who what. They're not trying to hear that at that point because they've been doing it since they were 6, and now all of a sudden it happened and everything they wanted is happening. I get it, I completely get it, because a lot of things that I learned from like Ricky Ray. Like Ricky told me from the very beginning, babes, open a business, everything that you have, but sit in your business and pay yourself a salary. And that's what he told me. I didn't learn that from anyone. It was a conversation like I would have, like we were chilling, And I did it, and I listened to him, and I was able to eventually buy my house because of that thing. Because as a musician, money's inconsistent. It's not a salary. It doesn't even say salary. It's tricky. And then there's tax that I didn't understand. Now I have to do tax, and it's like, oh, business tax, private tax. Jesus Christ!
And the thing is, but you can't blame anyone.
Yeah, and I can't blame anyone.
You can't blame anyone for that. You're like, damn, your ignorance is not like, you know what I mean?
Fault,
it's not anyone's fault,
Or anyone's
yourself.
Yeah, you have to educate
100%.
yourself.
So that's the thing with education. Is it about the fact that we're teaching the wrong things? We should be teaching people to want to educate themselves.
Yes.
Like
but now how do you do that?
Exactly. Well, the thing is with homework, for example, so the Montessori system has no homework. Because when the kid comes home, what does the kid want to do?
Chill and
play. And when he's playing, what's the kid doing? He's learning. And so it's like they're already learning, whether they're climbing a tree or kicking a ball or chasing their sister around the house, whatever it is. Anyway, we digress slightly. But let's take a few questions, probably just for 10 minutes. Any questions from the audience?
Right, so I'm from Miami, and I find it interesting you say Bel Air brand because Rick Ross and I went to the same high school with Rick Ross, right?
That's dope.
Yeah. We went to the same elementary, middle, and high school.
Dope.
And you guys talk about assets, right? And I only been here like 9 months in South Africa, and I see how much South Africa is influenced by the United States, and I didn't know that before I came here. Do you guys like make a concerted effort to be able to try to bridge the gap between, the diaspora of, African Americans artists and South African artists, and try to like, when you're talking about education and all that
dollars,
stuff?
Bro, of course.
Huh?
You've got dollars, of course.
Yeah. I mean, but even deeper than that, though, the dollars, the mines, the assets, the bringing people over here to South Africa to be able to see, because from as American, most black people in America have no idea what South Africa culture is like, what it look like. It's just a whole different world. So yeah.
So I don't know if I'm tired. I don't know if I understood your question completely, but I hope I.
No, I understood it.
No, go ahead.
I understood it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like this. I tell people all the time, it's like, you have to choose what you want to be, right? Do you want to be a politician? Do you want to be the businessman? Do you want to die on your sword? Do you want to make some money, right? So at the end of the day, who is it benefiting for me to go and open the mind of an American? Like, is it benefiting me, or would I rather just spend my time exporting my product to go get dollars? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do understand the importance of it, right? And I think we need bodies in place, because we do have bodies in South Africa that export our talents. Because I remember a couple of years ago, I went to France, right? I went on another funding midterm. It was a conference happening in France, a couple, Keenan as well. We all went, Moonchild, a lot of us went, right? So South Africa has programs like that export us to other countries. I don't know if we're focused on bringing, you know what I mean? We're not, and especially not an American, maybe the world. We're not focused specifically on an American, but the world in general. We're just focused on exporting and getting as many eyes. Yes, I don't know if I...
No, you did. You
Yeah,
did.
right.
And also I feel like it's not just on us, it's on Americans too, because I keep saying, how is it a world tour and there's no African dates? You actually purposely leave out.
Yeah, how's it a world tour but no African
No
dates? It's
African
like,
dates.
that doesn't make sense.
And
But like you
that's the thing.
said, a lot of Americans
our ignorance
Don't.
offense.
And I had a really tough time, like, because I grew up in America for a short stint. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, came South Africa when I was 3, went back when I was 6, came when I was 12. So
Okay.
I was like, my teacher, my art teacher, at 6 years old, could call me to the front of the class and like open a book and like, yeah, you guys live like this. And she's showing me like lions and canyons in the field.
Yes.
And she's
And
a
this is
teacher.
and she's a teacher. This is a
Yes.
grown ass woman, right? And I'm a 6-year-old, and she's asking me this in front of the class. You get what I'm saying? So I can't be responsible for her ignorance.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, but I get it though, because when I first came over here, I had family members. They were like, "Watch out for the lions." And I'm like,
It's like, come on.
Bro,
It's
they-
like,
they
and they really
seriously talking about it?
believe that. They
Yes.
really believe that. I'm telling you. There's Americans that haven't left their block, their streets. They've never been in an airplane. They don't know.
Don't have passports.
You know, they don't have passports. They don't know. But I'll tell you, a lot of Africans do. You know.
And we were chasing education even. That's
yeah.
why we always
Yeah. That's why my
expand
parents
and
were
read.
there. They were
Yeah.
chasing education.
Got it.
They were going for their doctorate degree. You understand?
Yes,
So,
I do.
yeah.
It's called recolonization.
Yeah. But on the other question that I thought you were asking is about how we're so influenced by America, and before the